I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right. We have no minutes to order. Any committee thoughts, comments? Okay, Max.
All right.
Are we gonna go through these one section at a time again, or?
Yes, that was going to be the goal. I guess we can start on the comprehensive plan part 1. So this is the implementation section that goes through all the strategies and goals, the vision statement and everything. Yes, that.
Yeah, so I was able to, the planning board sat down and we went through this.
Yep.
Except for the very last section, we ran out of time and brain power. So I have a compilation of all those comments here.
Okay.
It's not a lot, I'm just saying, so it would incorporate what they
Yeah.
all.
So
We're starting with the draft.
draft, vision statement, all that.
Okay.
And I assume because we're going to be going through about 9 different sections, we'll do the same thing where there's just a lot of significant changes, actual changing sentences and everything. We're going to focus on that, and if it's just capitalization, punctuation, things like that, people will just give me those, and I'll handle that outside the meeting.
Okay.
I assume that's what we're doing.
Works.
So you don't want, okay,
Just,
Those were all the changes you were going to say.
no.
Okay. All right. So go page by page. So table of contents. Any changes? All right. So let's get to what says page 4. Then we'll start with the introduction.
The third paragraph down, there's, on the left-hand side, third sentence, it's approved, and it should be approved.
Is that what you don't want? I mean, I'm just gonna ask, because I mean, I saw that too. So do you
I
want?
got that too.
So,
We'll just we'll go through. Okay. We'll just do that.
If it gets excessive, then maybe we'll,
you can shut it down.
Well, yeah, you know what, we'll start, we'll just allow it for now, and then we'll see where we're at, like
Time-wise.
7 o'clock. All right, so approve,
And
yeah, I'll keep an eye on the clock and see when we have to be a bit more strict. All right,
My question on that was, the first paragraph, yep, there was an update in 2006. Should we change that to 2006?
2006.
And the same thing in the history of the comprehensive plans, the third paragraph.
2006.
and my only question is consult in the first paragraph, last line, because Council of Governments who serve as consultants, is it plural?
I'd say yes, because there's me and there's a few other people.
Okay.
involved. Any other changes for page 4?
In the history, we took the wood out earlier, but we left lead in, it should be led. Second, second line,
The survey,
this survey led,
okay.
would lead,
How's that?
the survey would lead to the first.
The survey
Led.
led to the first comprehensive project. All right. Any other changes for page 4? Moving on to page 5.
In the public outreach, the second, one, 2, 3, the fourth so-called bullet point, West Bath has tremendous proximity. I didn't know if it sounded odd to me. I see how,
Maybe just leave that West Bath proximity to service centers.
well-positioned, something, I don't know.
Is between 2 service centers.
How about good proximity?
yeah,
That's good
tremendous seems excessive.
Good proximity.
Decent proximity. No, how about, yeah,
Good proximity.
let's go with good.
Yeah.
Okay.
And on down the limited school choice, should we also mention that somehow that limited choice is grade 6 through 12, it's not grade school?
Right, yeah.
Will improve their child's capabilities from grade 6 through 12.
Right.
Yeah, just to make that clear.
Grades 6 through 12. Okay.
I'm just wondering about second paragraph in the vision, I'm not quite sure where to put it, but there's really no mention, I don't think I saw mention of roads, and that's such a challenge for the town, maintaining roads. West Bath will utilize future grants and regional efforts to preserve water, and I just feel like, I mean, our roads are really tough. I mean, it comes up. I don't know if anybody else feels it deserves. It's not terribly interesting,
If you
but
put
it's-
after, like,
The best.
after efforts too, you could say maintain roads,
Yeah,
Or just
common
infrastructure.
preserve water access.
Yeah, I think just stick it in there, I just think it's important,
yeah,
because it's a challenge.
and a good portion of our budget goes to roads.
Okay. So West Bath will need to utilize future grants and regional efforts to maintain roads and public infrastructure.
And then my only other thought is, we keep getting called different things, we're task force or committee, I think, and for the documents purposes, we're a
Mhm.
committee, so I just,
Which one are you?
sorry, that would be on the 1, 2, 3, 4th sentence after
Comprehensive plan.
public.
Committee, you want to
We
be.
started off as a committee, but now I think we're,
No, we are a committee.
are we a
Right.
committee? Okay, I just keep seeing on the website, I think it's
Yeah.
task force.
And in
It's a task
introduction,
force.
Oh,
but in
Is
the,
it, is there a different, I mean, I just,
That's how it was, that's how you were appointed, as a task force.
well, just to be
It should be
consistent,
consistent,
so
that's
in
all.
the introduction,
I
it's
can
committee,
confirm that, but
and
Yeah,
that was always my understanding.
well, go
Because
back.
task force are for a limited,
I'll leave it as, I could leave it as committee for now, and
We
then
can-
it's one word correction.
Yeah, okay, let's go with that.
okay.
Anything
We'll
else?
put a task force, look at that.
mhm.
And you're heading that, right?
Yes, yes.
Anything else for page 5? Page 6.
I'm on the stinker on this, before we go off, it's the Bath Area Family YMCA, I mean, is everybody happy just calling it, it gets called different things. It's the YMCA, I've seen it called
Oh.
Bath YMCA,
At the,
but the full name is Bath Area.
the last bullet point.
Yeah. It's
Bath Family
Not a
YMCA.
big deal, but
That's the official name.
Bath Family YMCA.
Bath Area,
Bath Area YMCA.
Family YMCA.
Bath Area
Sorry.
Family
Because there are
YMCA.
two campuses, I mean, it's not, there's the main one in Bath, but there's also, there's one in Ambrose.
That's true.
Bath Area Family YMCA.
Mhm.
Alright, got it. Alright. Now on page 6.
But-
Sorry.
Right in the middle of the page, you still have your notes.
No, it's just-
To change the order, you need to get rid of the guideline that we,
In the middle of the investigation section.
I don't have it.
we're on
Oh.
page 6.
That came up on our
Oh.
six.
I don't have it.
Okay.
I do.
I do.
I have it circled.
Alright, I got, nope, it's gone from mine, but, I don't know where, okay. I don't know how that happened.
I thought it just reminded you.
Yeah. Alright, noted on that. Anything else for page 6? Alright, moving on to page 7, where we actually get into the strategies. So, page 7, starting with population housing.
We had, planning board had a comment that at the top, maybe so that people can go back and forth in the book, that it says that population housing is section 1 and 2. Like a quick reference back and forth.
Okay.
Oh, for where it is and.
Yeah, so I mean,
Yeah,
because we were trying to check
We
this
talked about
checklist
that.
based on these sections.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so we weren't sure which section it was.
So for the titles, it'll be population, parentheses, section 1, and then,
Yeah, just, and I think there's only that one that's like more than one,
yeah,
like historic and archaeological is 3, so.
yeah.
Okay,
which actually raises the issue, it's population/housing, but the section is called population and demographics, so should it be the same thing?
I think if you put in there the section number, it's easy to reference back and forth.
Yeah. All right, anything else, page 7? Hearing none, we move on to page 8, which is the rest of the population. Any other changes for page 8? Page 9, start of historic and archaeological resources, that'll be section 3 in the title.
I didn't know if the first 2 sections of the West Bath Historic Society should be in those 2 as well,
And what?
in the first, on page 9.
Oh, just add them for responsible parties?
Because I think they'd be consulted and asked about those
Oh, under the responsibility.
for both the first 2 sections.
West Bath Historical Society.
And
Where are you changing that in the title?
On the side, responsibility.
Oh.
these guys. And then I think the second one, you need to add the CEO.
Use the site plan review process?
Yeah, and I guess I disagree about the historical for that one, because it's, the historical society doesn't have anything to do with the site plan review process.
Unless they're hunting for, they find a site that's got a major historical value to it.
Right,
They
we
might
have that.
know, they might know of that site, that the CEO doesn't know.
Well, I thought we were going by the list that was gonna be in the book as the historical sites. I guess I don't care if it's on there, it's just, you wouldn't call on them to look at it.
I would just call it for information or whatever.
Yeah, and either way, it would be the CEO, not the planning board necessarily doing that. Or I think they both need to be there.
Yeah, because there's gonna be some cases where the planning boards need to do the site review. Okay,
Well, I think it's more that the CEO was doing the investigations of the list before it comes to the planning board. He's supposed to be the keeper of the lists and the maps of the habitat and all that kind of stuff.
right, so I'm including the CEO and the planning board on that.
Right.
Okay. Anything else for page 9?
And you want to clear off, like, the second section, request is a big gap there.
Yeah, I took out a space bar, just as I was
Where's that?
Third sentence down, the second section, request is a big gap there.
Yeah, because it's justified, and so they
Oh,
had
no.
that massive gap, but I took out one space and should. All right.
And were you gonna change the formatting so the meat of the text in the middle maybe was wider
I
to
can,
make these shorter?
I
I
can,
don't know if it matters, but there's a really big gap between the
Yeah,
body of the
you've got
text
a
and
lot
the
of
middle.
room in there, you can do
And
that.
then it's a picky little thing, but it might save some pages and
It should say, but.
makes it a little bit easier to read too, I think.
Hanging out, just pulling down.
Yeah. It reads like a newspaper article.
okay.
It's so skinny.
Trying to-
So I'll change the width. Anything else for page 9? Moving on to page 10.
I didn't know if we should add the select board to the second one.
Work with the state and towns with that and other to explore.
Oh, yeah,
Wow.
that's a good point.
When you're going throughout all of this and doing those things, would you please make sure that the fonts are the same? You've got a lot of different fonts in here.
What?
Font, your,
Just trying to ask for where you see the different.
well, if you look on the second one, you've got planning board in one font, and town meeting, you're just just have different fonts in there.
Yeah.
The center is probably, Times Roman, I'm
Yeah,
not sure, and
so-
the other one is some sans serif. And you use those back and forth in a lot of these.
So what's been happening is, I have been trying to have it as one font, but then we have some changes the next time, and for some reason it defaults back to its old format, which is like, what is it?
So if you have it wrong, you
Yeah.
can just do.
So when it's the final one, it is gonna be the one consistent.
Okay,
That's why I'm hoping there's no more changes.
yeah, and the green one looks like Times Roman, and
Yeah.
changes got a
it's-
whole
it's-
bunch of different things in there.
It's all gonna be time consuming,
Okay,
or Comic Sans, depending on the mood that day.
there you go.
All right, so select board's being added to the second one. I would keep the fonts consistent.
Mm,
Anything else?
Yeah, just back there, I found YMCA, just to use this the full name.
Alright, Bath family area one. Bath area family YMCA.
Right.
Okay. Anything else for 10? Page 11?
Second paragraph, in outdoor spaces within the school.
And, indoor and outdoor recreation spaces within this. Okay.
I didn't know too many
At-
outdoor
at
within.
the school.
At school.
At the school.
Indoor and outdoor amenities at the school and space allocation. I don't know, I'm trying to.
No, I think it's the second line, it needs to be at the
Just
school.
at.
Just
Right,
at school,
that's all
I'm fine
I'm
with that?
doing.
Yeah,
Okay,
just the outdoor space is not within the school.
okay.
Also, back on the first paragraph with the references to the Audubon Trail, so that's the Hamilton Preserve, right?
Yes.
Correct.
I just thought that, again, same, I mean, it's the Audubon Society that
So-
owns it, I think, anyway.
So
It
Audubon's.
either should be Audubon Society or the Hamilton,
Reserve.
I think it's Preserve.
Audubon Society Trail. What is that?
I think that's probably right, yeah.
And you get the same spaces issue in the first paragraph.
On the third paragraph.
Yep.
Who's up? Me?
Third paragraph.
Third paragraph, the next to the last line. The way I read that, information, starting up, at the minimum, this will include information on Maine's landowner liability law regarding recreational or harvesting use. I don't understand why harvesting is in there. Landowner liability for, are you talking about like marine harvesting or fishing or? Because
I think that was just public accessibility, but you're right. Saying harvesting use kind of does make it a bit confusing when we're talking about just recreation at this point.
Yeah.
So I don't mind getting rid of that.
recreational use, if you, I was the.
Just leave it as recreational use,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah,
I think
Okay.
Although is that Title 14, the reference there would still be the same reference?
Same reference.
The 159A actually is recreation or harvesting activities. That's what it says. Activities.
would that be like timber then?
Why is that together?
What kind of harvesting?
I'm looking.
It's confusing.
Recreational activities conducted out of doors, hunting, fishing, trapping, camping.
Could be housing, hunting, fishing is housing.
Dog sledding, swimming, or activities, or activities involving the harvesting or gathering of forest, field, or marine products.
Exactly.
Includes entry of, volunteer maintenance, and improvement of, use of, and passage passage over premises in order to pursue these activities, so
It has-
clamming, fishing. So I
it
think
has to be in there.
if you use use, if you change use into activities,
And harvesting activity.
yeah.
Leave it in
Because
there.
that's
So
what,
it's all-
that's the title of it, is activities instead of use.
Regarding recreational and harvesting
Yeah.
activities.
I wasn't texting.
Okay.
Okay.
I don't know if you've made this mistake throughout, but whenever you use I period, E period, a comma comes after it, not a semicolon. It's twice on page 11.
I periods.
It's a comma, not a semicolon.
I haven't seen any of them. Where's?
First paragraph.
It's on the
By West
first
Bath.
one, and it's on the third one.
I don't see it on the
I.e. local cable channel. The second line down, i.e.
thing. Second line down doesn't have any ID in it.
Yeah, second.
Do you have a different one?
You've got a different copy.
Page 11.
I have a different copy.
Yeah, you do. I think you're one
This is
third
page-
wrong, maybe.
This is page 11?
This is
Yeah.
page 11.
Yeah, actually,
Yeah.
different.
Yeah, no, I
Oh, you got the first
I
one.
saw the first one.
Yeah.
She has a different, she has an older
I have
copy.
a different copy.
Okay.
Older
Sorry,
copy.
guys.
Yeah, I almost got confused too, because they all say the same thing up front.
Right,
It's like,
no, I'm
no,
sorry.
Okay, so what do you next?
All right, so there's nothing on page 11, page 12.
Oh, I have. Question about the first bullet.
Yep.
It says amend the ordinances and standards to review applications based on intensity and location. What are you referring to as intensity?
Like traffic impacts, or these amount of exterior development that's gonna happen. Someone wants to just have a shop out of their own house, where they're just gonna sell knickknacks one
So
day
is
a
that
week.
level of development instead of intensity, maybe?
It can be worded that way. Level of development.
That makes more sense to me.
So how's that gonna read?
Instead of intensity, it would be level of development.
Level of development,
So on this one, on page 10, you've got an IE on the bottom one, and on page 11 on the top, you've got an IE semicolon instead of a comma, so
okay.
Okay.
In the green section, in the little line where it says objectives, policies, encourage the growth of industry and business within West Bath, it's over and over, and we're talking about retaining the rural. So should we, this may be over reading into it, but should we say light industry or just say industry? I just thought that was.
We're technically allowed both
Mm-hmm.
within the zones that they're allowed in, so it's not like taking over down to Sabino with industry or business.
Right, so the zoning really takes care of that concept.
Yeah,
I'm
and
sure.
the selectmen are always wanting to be business friendly, you know, that kind of stuff.
Right.
So we try to balance business versus the rural aspect by managing where the zones are supposed to be. So
Okay,
I think it's,
just leave it
I think it's,
broad, okay.
yeah, it's broad. The board had something to add on the list,
Mhm.
long-term. So study and explore expansion of business.
One sec.
Oh,
Insert,
sorry.
go below, long-term.
Is this where it says alternative long-term?
No, this is a new one.
New one,
What does it say?
it's it again.
long-term.
Yep.
It, well, study and explore expansion of business. Another thing, I kind of put two notes in here. Further study business and commercial corridor for infrastructure and other enhancements to encourage investment in the business area.
Further studying the commercial corridor for infrastructure and other enhancements to what?
Other enhancements to encourage investment in the business area. And that went underneath the select board and the planning board.
Business area, or would it be fine if I say growth area? Because the growth area is pretty much gonna be like,
Growth is the BC and the UDP, right?
yeah,
Yeah, sure. Yeah, that's better than mine, I like that.
and then this is just
Select board and planning board.
select board.
Doing anything about it would be town meeting, but this is really just to
Mention it,
explore and,
have it there.
right. And 5 is economy, right? Or economy is 5?
Yes. Okay, anything else on page 12? Page 13, agriculture and forestry, section 6.
At the top in the green, the first line, to promote the development of specialty agriculture. What is specialty agriculture? Why isn't it just agriculture?
That was your goal back in 2006.
We changed that goal.
So just agriculture and
Just agriculture.
specialty?
Yeah, and take out that comma after agriculture.
Any other pages on page 13?
Just your words, pages.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, I had the thing.
That's what happens when it's justified.
Well, it'll change when you broaden.
Yeah, when it's wide,
Text me out.
it'll,
It'll straighten
I'll try
out.
and discuss it the best I can.
So far, so good.
Alright, anything else for 13? Anything for 14?
I don't know if this shows up on yours, but at the very last one, under the star next to immediate, there's like a double underline or something. I don't know
Yeah.
what that is, if that's just screen garbage or what. It's weird.
Well, for some reason it was struck. I don't know why.
Oh, so that's a. s-
It was a strike through. I don't know
because
why.
the star is too high to actually strike it, okay.
So is that not supposed to be,
Yeah, no,
it's not starred, or is it,
no, it is struck.
is
Not struck.
it's not struck?
Yeah. It's not star struck.
There you
I
go.
like leaving the
Right.
state, I like those references, when we talked about that, I like
Yeah, and
knowing that it's a state.
I think that was mentioned in the introduction. That's what it's.
Yeah, yeah. no,
Mentioned in
yeah.
there. Anything for page 14? Page 15, water and natural resources, which will be section 7.
That title is actually
Critical.
really, really different from the
Yeah,
section itself. It's critical natural and water resources.
Yeah, I noticed that.
In there.
I just noticed that when I had to back to back. So the title will be critical natural and water resources.
And on the first paragraph in the white, so planning board should always be capitalized. I know it's a small thing, but it gets lost when it's.
Wait,
Where is it? It's-
Oh, I see.
Next
At
to
the
last
very
sentence.
bottom, like next to last sentence in the very first,
yeah.
implementation item.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Anything else for page 15?
Just the star, if that could be over on 7, back in the green.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
The
okay.
stars like,
It's just floating.
yeah,
Oh, yep,
It's
you
a
see,
space, space in there.
it's wrapped to the next line.
in that case, I'm just gonna say cooperate with neighboring towns in the region of local advocacy groups.
It'll shut up.
I'll get a right there. Okay.
Are any of the maps that we use tonight have anything to do with these sections, or are they all from different sections?
Beginning with habitat map should be, I think the beginning with habitat maps got sent out. Can I see one of the bundles?
Yeah, no, I'm just wondering if any of these go in these sections that were
Yeah, so the beginning with habitat maps, if you see that in the top left corner,
Yeah,
those are all the water and critical natural resources ones.
okay.
You can keep that.
'Cause it's gonna go over the different habitats, it's gonna show the animal habitats, the conserved lands.
Yeah, that'll be interesting. So it's gonna just be, the maps will all be not in just one section at the end as an appendix, or are they gonna go into the body of the sections?
The plan was to have them as their own different appendix, but we could just mix them into the sections if you want.
Not sure.
I'd rather have them in sections.
I think in the section, just,
Yeah,
Okay.
it seems a little better
And
that way.
then, yeah, I mean, they'd be able to reference it.
Yeah,
And then,
but I'm sorry, I got ahead, because we haven't even looked at the sections yet.
that's fine.
Yeah.
Alright, page 16?
On the first immediate,
Yes.
the very
Oh.
last line, the Small Woodlot Association of Maine changed its name in 2017 to the Maine Woodlands Owners Association.
I think you mentioned that.
You brought it-
Maine Woodlands Owners
Owners
Association.
Association. The Small Woodlot Association of Maine was known as SWOM by an acronym, and they
They didn't
did
like
away
that.
with that because
They want,
they wanted all owners, not just small woodlot owners.
and so their new acronym just rolls off the tongue.
No,
Why?
there's no acronym really that makes any sense. But the name is Maine Woodland Owners Association.
Owners with an apostrophe, or, yeah.
No, not in the way they did it.
Alright,
Okay,
anything else for 16?
I think the very last one needs to have a CEO added to it.
Using beginning with habitat maps?
Yep.
Alright,
That was the intent, is that.
Is it?
I think what happened is the one on the next page has CEO that shouldn't have CEO in it.
do you amend the land use ordinance to require beginning with habitat maps?
Yeah. I just think it got put in the wrong one probably.
Okay.
Is it too strong a statement under the third one for ongoing to encourage alternative waste systems to eliminate overboard discharge systems? Instead of reducing, there are only 4. And maybe the goal to not have any.
Encourage is kind of wishy-washy too. So it matches.
I think
How about
this
just to eliminate? Seems like they need to go away.
I would say eliminate sounds more beneficial.
I agree with
I
you,
mean,
but
if, yeah, I mean, I know it's difficult.
encouraging is,
It's awful soft.
you don't encourage to eliminate, you,
If you can change that, I mean, it's
Seek alternative waste systems?
To eliminate,
And eliminate.
eliminate waste
And
systems.
eliminate.
We want to eliminate the OBD type of waste system.
Yeah.
Not, just
Encourage
encourage.
alternative waste systems and eliminate over.
Yes.
So I know eliminate is replacing, so how is it being said at this point? Because I heard 2 different spots where eliminate was being said.
I was gonna say, work with the Maine Department to encourage alternative waste systems and eliminate,
And that's fine.
overboard.
That sounds good.
Anything else for 16? $17?
so you have the top one taking the CEO out.
Yep.
And then the third one down, I think the CEO should go back in.
Request as appropriate that application to the planning board, that one?
Yep.
Okay.
Yes, please.
So that's the third one?
Yes.
So CEO out for the first,
In for the third.
And
and for the third.
Yep.
Okay.
Anything else for 17? Page 18.
top one, add the CEO in,
Mhm.
and I had another one to add.
The new one, okay.
Talking about New Meadows Lake, low oxygen,
Is this a long term or a short term?
I'm sorry, long term.
Okay, let me just get that inserted.
What was it?
I haven't said
Oh, I'm
it yet.
sorry.
Yeah, I just needed to get the row ready. All right. And what is it?
Study how to mitigate New Meadows Lake, low oxygen and bacteria issues.
I like that.
Low oxygen. Low oxygen and what?
And bacteria issues.
Bacteria issues.
And then it was,
Should you,
what was that one?
could you mention some of the just water quality? It's not just that.
Yeah, it's, it was specifically, right on here, page 78, this is a while ago, hold on, let's see. Nitrogen contamination, it specifically talks about New Meadows River north of Route 1. So, if you go to page 78, it talks, once fully tidal, upper portion of New Meadows River north of Route 1 have experienced periodic low levels of oxygen and occasional algal blooms due to limited tidal flushing.
Right. So what does that read, how does that read now, this?
Study how to mitigate New Meadows Lake low oxygen and bacteria issues.
And to improve the overall water quality? Because there's other problems out there too.
Right, I mean, you could, let's see what else.
Can you
Yeah,
add that to it, just general water quality?
yeah,
I
it's,
mean, that could
That's
actually
nice.
just be a general goal or an objective that's at page
Yeah.
15.
Yeah.
Let's see. Yeah, improve water quality in areas subject to pollution, so we could still add another one, like.
oh, this was very specific to New Meadows Lake.
That's the,
I mean, you can add.
Yeah, no, I can, so add an objective specifically on New Meadows Lake,
Yeah,
okay. How would you like that objective?
That's what you just did.
I just read it, study how to
Oh.
mitigate New Meadows Lake low oxygen and bacteria issues. Unless you wanna add something to it.
Nitrogen contamination.
I wanted to add something along the line of just
Right,
generally improve the water quality.
at New
Or
Meadows.
ways to improve the water quality in the Meadows Lake, in the Meadows Lake.
Or put at the end, and improve water quality.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think what you have is more of an objective or goal that would be at the top, and what you have would be one of the strategies. To just
Okay.
study it.
Okay,
It's just my opinion, yeah.
All right,
what's the difference between an objective and a strategy?
go ahead.
Just placement more,
Well, it's
but
like
I can go behind this too.
Okay.
If that's.
It's okay.
And anyway, we
It's
were
okay,
worried
Max.
about we were reading through the New Meadows Lake and decided to add that to this, so, and so we had it select board, planning board.
It looks like the implementation actions are action items. I mean, it's what you're gonna do.
Right, it's study something.
Yeah.
All right, so planning board, select board.
Yep.
Okay.
I don't know, would you add the Marine Resources Committee to that?
It's the state controlled water. They control it, not the town of Brunswick can add to it.
Why?
They border the other side.
Hmm.
But it's the state controlled, the housing is all controlled with the state.
Right. Okay, so maybe the select board is enough, and then they can talk
Select
about
board,
it.
planning board.
Okay.
Okay. Moving on to page 19. Start with marine resources, section 8. Page 19. All right. Page 20. Put a period missing that first one. Page 20.
The fourth one down, did you add the Marine Resources Committee? Dave, you go to that.
Yeah,
Would you?
yeah.
Okay, so maybe add the marine resources to the, fourth one down, the immediate review shoreline.
Mhm.
The way it's worded there, does marine and resources need to be capitalized or?
No,
Which one again?
Same one.
Okay.
no,
I mean, so you are adding marine resources
Yes.
committee?
committee,
But then marine resources in the implementation item are lowercase?
yeah.
Okay. Anything else for page 20? Page 21. Page 21. Page 22. Public facilities and services, go to section 9.
So this is the one that the planning board hasn't looked at yet.
Okay.
So I don't have anything on it today, but I might next time, if that's okay.
That's fine. Page 22.
I'm not sure that this needs to be changed, but I wasn't sure I was really understanding the last one. Ongoing, explore options for regional delivery of local services. I just was wondering kind of what's being driven out there.
Like,
That's what I'm asking you.
I guess it's just
Local,
like how can the select board make sure that there's still all these regional, these other services going on? Like
I know they're ongoing ones, but I mean, are we looking to do more? Because I don't know, I guess I'm
It could be
trying to
something like the emergency
just
preparedness
keeping
from
open
the county.
options open.
Yeah,
Okay.
they're always gonna be looking for ways to try and improve or get new services, pretty much. Page 23. Page 23. Moving on to page 24.
Are we gonna go through these when we don't have the sections to review?
Yeah, I guess that's up to,
We could go through it now and see if we notice anything, I think, just.
Yeah, because, I mean, our process when we did it is we looked at the list and the
Yeah.
sections at the
I didn't
same
do that.
time, and it
That's a
kind of
good
went back
idea.
and forth, and that's how I ended up with those new ones.
right,
But I just think if you notice anything right now,
yeah.
just a quick review, that's all.
And some of these, I think the last few of them, other than the land use one, the last few are maybe 1 page each, so, except the land use, and that one's gonna be its own mess when we have to get to it.
When we, in education, we have the school board in West Bath School. Should we just put school board?
The West Bath School Board, or just the?
I mean, just the school board. What do you mean by the West Bath School, the parent teachers?
This is
The
the,
principal?
this is what we always have to
I know.
back and forth on.
I know, but I think simplifying is the school board,
In that first paragraph, because it's saying.
all three of those.
Are they always together?
You assume that the school board's gonna do oversight.
I don't think we need, I just don't think we need West Bath School,
They're gonna
Yeah,
talk
school
to the
board's in
teacher
there
in the
as
well.
school.
so take off the West Bath
Except
School.
Oh, I see what you're saying on the side,
Yeah.
sorry.
And they're,
Alright,
I just don't think we need it there. Because the school, anyhow,
so I'm getting rid of West Bath, reference to West Bath School as a responsible party for the education section, correct?
Yeah.
Alright,
and using just school board.
just school board. And let's have that in the minutes, because I know this is gonna come up later.
It's good, this is big.
There's always, we always get the back and forths about these things.
no, that's the name of the school, isn't it? West Bath Elementary.
I had a,
It's a, yeah, it should be West Bath School Board, WB.
I had a question up in the green for
Yes.
parents and goals. Just a language thing.
Yep.
Provide Board of West Bath to strengthen, and instead of to, strengthen the community interest involved.
Okay,
I like
Any ideas?
That's good.
so instead of, in the
What's it?
green,
Oh, in the green.
the goal, instead of to strengthen and strengthen.
Good catch.
And strengthen.
That's
To
what
me,
they-
that don't make sense, I put a mark down.
Under long-term, on the third paragraph, the
Mhm.
third line from the end, where it says, these enhancements shall not interfere with the West Bath schools, and I was gonna say primary instead of initial goal of providing exemplary education.
Primary?
Yeah, I like that.
Primary instead of, I mean, initials like your first thoughts or your beginning
Right.
thoughts, whereas it's, this is.
Right. Clarifies it.
This, should we?
I like that one.
Yeah, clarify it.
All right. Nothing else for 24. We'll move on to transportation.
Just wondering if we should add the town administrator, at least to the first and the last, 1 and 4.
that. Yeah, I agree.
The town administrator be involved with that, I think. On the daily,
I don't know, does the town administrator have any objections?
not tonight.
Not
Great
here.
run.
I'll allow it. And isn't the road committee defunct now?
Is it? I
Yeah,
thought they got together again.
they canceled it,
They got together again,
terminated it.
just to terminate it.
No, they did not get together to terminate the selectmen, terminated the road committee.
All right.
No, that's not,
Well,
we won't get off track on that.
so road committee's now removed, and it's just the road commissioner and town administrator dealing with those two apparently. But the planning board's still around, so they're dealing with items 2 and 3.
Now,
Anything else for 25? Moving on to 26, which is fiscal capacity.
oh, sorry, I think on the second one, you have to add,
Town meeting.
town meeting. This says amend ordinances.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
you gotta add town meeting.
Okay. Page 26, fiscal capacity, and that long list of strategy.
On
That's kind of,
implementation actions, you need to take both of those commas out of there. To plan for, take it out, and finance, take it out.
oh, good point.
Okay.
I wondered about town administrator there. I guess my question is under number 2, to explore available grants. Is that the
I
role of
think-
the select board?
I think the town administrator should be there as well.
Administrator.
Yeah, agreed.
Yeah.
All right.
And does the investment committee play any role about fiscal capacity somewhere or not?
We got 2 here to go, so you know.
That was very, very quick answer.
Very quick.
I suppose if there was gonna be a place to put the investment committee, that would be it, but it's not
I think
necessary.
you come up somewhere else.
It wasn't feeling slighted.
Pretty sure you're under the public facilities.
Yeah, just
Not even an honorable mention.
To clarify again, as we understand the role of the investment committee, the town has a surplus of funds that were established when we sued RSU 1 for inappropriately charging us in 1.
And that's really it. That's the
So we got a chunk of money. They
Yeah.
paid off all the town debts. We still had a chunk of money. The investment committee's job is to
manage that.
evaluate opportunities for investing that money and recommending that to the select board.
Right.
And
Once the
that's it.
select board decides that they've got a project, like the revale,
Yeah,
they didn't consult us. They just said, we're gonna pay for that out of this long-term capital improvement fund.
so it's kind of.
Yours is just
capital reserve.
overall the fund itself, not how it's used.
Right. We don't have any say on how it's used. We try to make it as big as possible
No,
Keep at it.
It's limited.
While preserving the capital.
Right. So just very quick,
Fix our road.
and getting the best investment return that we can in a safe manner.
Yes, that's our job.
Fiscally
So
The
responsible.
select board decides.
So it's,
yeah. So just to answer your quick question on where to go, like, there is investment committee, like, here and there throughout the different sections. There could be something under fiscal capacity for something to what you just said right there, but
No.
that's up to the committee if you want to deal with it, but it's already explained in the actual
Yeah.
section.
To put it in there would be borderline.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Alright, so-
all right.
Select board could eliminate you at any moment.
They could. They
So-
could.
So with nothing on 26, we'll move on to 27, land use plans.
Max, in the green, number 3,
Mhm.
minimize the width of ingress and egress. It's not the length, it's the width of the opening.
Where are you again?
Number
three
in
of-
the green.
Yes.
And then in 7, I think it's review permitting procedures in growth areas. And I don't know if you wanna, up at the top, when you're saying enhance business commercial zone and urban development park zone, if you wanna refer to those as the growth areas? Because you sort of talk about the different zone names and then you talk about growth areas. Do we wanna point out that they're the growth areas somewhere in there?
I think that would help the public to
Yeah, I mean, you know
visualize
what it
that
is,
those
but-
are growth areas, right?
Right.
Can you
Maybe
just
the
add,
introduction.
just add the, in the growth areas on the end?
Yeah, I'll say enhance business / commercial zone and urban development park zone, AKA growth areas.
Yes.
Okay.
Anyway.
Yes.
Sorry, in the goals, after economical, there should be an and in there,
Where are you?
and ecologically sound, and then take that comma out.
Which number?
This is the goal.
Oh, sorry.
Economical, comma, and ecologically sound enhances the quality of life.
It's not economical and ecologically sound.
Well,
It's
you're-
economical.
Economical, comma,
And
To chart a course of his future development,
That is logical, timely.
development that is logical, timely, economical, and ecologically sound. So to chart a course, it should be to enhance the quality of life.
But it continues with.
Oh, maybe, all
quality of
right,
life.
maybe I've got it the wrong place then.
I think I think the way it is right.
ecological.
Well, you've got, the sentence is to chart a course of future, to chart a course that preserves the rural character of West Bath.
No.
Maybe it's supposed to be,
No.
I think maybe I meant, put the comma in the wrong place. Maybe it's supposed to be economical, comma, ecologically sound, comma, enhances the quality of life, comma, and that preserves the rural character of West Bath.
Yeah.
Does that make more sense?
That sounds better.
Okay.
Yeah,
Let's go with that.
yep.
All right. Anything else on page 27?
Yeah, on the second ongoing paragraph, I would wish there was some way that you could take this in accordance with 30-A MRSA, section 4451, and say what that does in words. I mean, this is just bureaucratese that means nothing to any citizen of the town that's gonna read this.
Yeah, the problem is
It's something you could involve.
MRSA is really long and crazy.
Yeah.
I mean, I can always put in the title of it, or what it comes up on as that, but
I think if someone's that interested, they can look up the statute.
I don't like that. I just don't like the communication and effectiveness of that.
So,
wait, we got a hand up.
Oh,
Yeah, so
sorry.
what this is ensuring is that the CEO is certified in accordance with that, so certification is the main thing. The public doesn't need to know that the CEO is certified.
Couldn't it say certified in accordance with state regulations?
Well, let's see what Darlene has.
I've got the title, so 4451 is training and certification for code enforcement officers.
That's pretty-
Well,
So
that-
you could put that at the end, if
In
that's what it
parentheses.
is, or,
Would that work if it just said in accordance with 38 MRSA section 4451,
Which-
aka what Darlene just said?
That's fine.
There's,
yeah,
What's
so
the
it's training and certification for code enforcement officers.
You could replace all the codes with just that, the title.
The lawyers like it with the code.
We're not writing this for the
No, it's
lawyers.
just,
Right, but
No,
it's
it's
but
on,
it shows compliance.
the state
Right,
though,
and
maybe a
Yeah.
lot.
and this might change, and they might change the title, but they would change the number.
And it's
Yeah.
got an asterisk there before it too.
I agree with you, I hate having to look these things up, but
It's got
Okay,
an asterisk there.
I concede.
some of the ordinance stuff is spelled out what it's supposed to be, and it gets replaced by legal with the MRSA number
And
sometimes.
And usually what we just did is gonna probably be what the ordinance is gonna change to, where we're gonna reference these articles all the time, but then we're also include the title right next to it in parentheses.
That's gonna be fun.
That'll be something much fun.
Um,
All right, moving on from 27 on to 28.
In the second section, you can eliminate.
Yeah, that's right. I knew I saw it somewhere.
The
Second section? Including the capital.
Yeah, that's it.
Okay, just get rid,
It's select board at town meeting.
oh, get rid of the investment committee.
Right.
Okay, I thought you were saying get rid of the whole
No,
thing.
no, no.
That would.
So when you rewrite this whole section,
Mm-hmm.
can you put a date on it?
Yeah.
Yeah, please.
Yep.
I almost bought the wrong one.
And I know you've been conferring with your planning board on a lot of this,
Right.
but is it this draft that's gonna have the date on it? The one that goes out to,
Well,
So, you go first.
I'm hoping, my thought now is that the next draft we get, it's not, we'll have a date on it, so we know this is the latest one. And I don't think that's a final one yet, is it? The final
no,
draft.
I'm asking a question, is that the one that goes out to all the different committees and people we
The
interviewed?
school and
School board and the.
fire department and,
As long as, yeah, it should be once you get through this whole round.
Yeah.
I thought this one went out.
No.
No, too, it still hasn't, I keep getting confused.
Yeah, that's where I'm getting confused. What I understood was we were doing this review of this one before we're sending it out to you.
Yeah, right.
Okay, so,
So I'm gonna make the update, so I've been slowly making the updates we've already been talking about.
Correct.
I'm going to put in some type of title on it, just to say public review copy or something like that, and I'm gonna have the date on it. And then, is this gonna come back to us for one last, well, I keep saying one last thing, or should I make the changes and then
I think make the changes, we'll send them out to the
Right.
departments.
See what comes.
We'll be, because if they notice something, they'll get back to us, and then we review it again.
Right.
Okay,
But we don't need to see it again before it goes out.
No, I
Right.
don't think so.
Right,
I'm not gonna run it through the planning board again.
okay.
They've seen it.
That's okay.
that's
So
fine.
maybe I
They're
did
part of
it,
the public.
maybe I did it early.
You guys did a good job.
That's
Your
fine.
comments are all good.
Oh, thanks, yeah, I
Well,
just,
this is planning board,
I think
right?
we
You
don't-
planned it out, right?
yeah.
It's-
Alright,
I would hope so.
alright.
We planned it.
So that's it for that one. Let's get on to section 1, population and demographics.
Now, is there a new version of this? Because I have a version of this.
Christine printed out copies.
This is the version that I picked up.
you want this?
Yeah, but
This is the one that we got in there,
Yes.
so we already,
Don't make
we
me
had,
try and bang.
Probably. I don't even think anything really has changed from the population one. The only thing that still needs to be updated is the education section. I sent everything out to school. They said they're gonna update it. If I don't get any updates, I'm gonna have to use the estimates.
No, if you can't get updates, let Christine know.
Okay.
Because we gotta, you know, we don't want to cut that short.
Outside of the education item, for population and demographics, are there any changes?
I had, the planning board was wondering why Arousik wasn't in the table. We've got Woolwich and Wiscasset, and Arousik just isn't in there. Doesn't seem to be in any of the tables. Throughout the document. I don't know if you just didn't have the data, or something on the site. That was the question.
I think it's
So
because,
like table 1, 2 and table 1, 3.
I think it's because, at least for this one, it was about the labor market area. And I don't know why Rouseck wasn't included in that then.
Is that a problem for you, Lisa?
It's just population, and I can include that.
You come to the top of the list anyhow, right?
It was because you wanted to fit it all on one page.
No, I just wanted to have West Bath and Bath so close, because I know how much you guys
And
love it.
Arousik just didn't make the cut.
Yeah.
Of course, that was.
No, you were supposed to.
Oh.
I see. You were prepping that one already.
Mm-hmm.
So, food. Okay. And did you say that was for all the charts or just this one?
I think it was more than just these two, definitely these two.
2, 3 is not on there.
Yeah, I think Arousik is just not,
I'll see if it's in the labor market. Maybe it's just not in the labor market area.
It's in between Woolwich and Georgetown.
That's why I'm confused why it's not there.
yeah, it's missing from 2, 3, you're right. It's not in that
Georgetown
letter.
and Woolwich are in it, it ought to be there.
I'll see what happened. It might have just been carried over. How did I put on that one?
My only gripe on this whole thing is you gotta get a better color than that to highlight it.
The highlight's
There's
gonna be
nothing
gone.
there, it's,
Yeah, the highlight's gonna be gone once I have the education
it's
tape.
if there's no data.
Okay, thank you.
Alright.
Right.
Anything else for section 1?
I think if you're gonna use green for the changes in table 2, you should make green for, there's no negatives in table 2, but I think that you should also make green for that column also,
Just
That's
make
your-
it over.
far right column.
For both of them.
Talking
Make
about
it
1, 3.
consistent, or,
Yeah.
This is green.
Mhm.
You said they should be parallel.
You just did table 2, and there's not table 2.
I'm sorry.
Table 1-.
1, 2.
I got
1, 2, and 1, 3.
Okay.
Sorry.
No worries.
On 1-3, I have one little trivial thing, but the third paragraph down, the last sentence,
Page 1, 3.
Oh,
Okay.
page 1-3. The data is subject to change if action is taken to attract more families with school-age children
To
move
move to the area.
to the area. You need a "to" in there, T-O in there.
To move to the area. Okay.
Very trivial, but
That's good
And
catch.
I think the action's working because there's 21 kindergarten kids this year,
great.
as opposed to 14 last year.
Only one well.
Yeah.
Anything else for section 1?
And then these.
Mm.
Hearing nothing, section 1. We'll go on to housing, section 2.
Again, like, table 2-3 is, Arousik missing.
Now, else it's missing from everything in these things.
And then,
So I'll include it.
what about in table, well, all of these tables, are you gonna go with red and green, or with the pluses and the minuses
I was told to do red and green.
consistently, or,
Well,
cause like table 2-1 is all black.
All right, yeah, I see what you're talking about.
And 2-2 is all black, changed.
Yeah, I think the red and green change was only when it was the percentage change tables, but I can do that throughout for all changes.
Makes it more colorful.
It draws your eye to it, which is good.
Okay. Anything else for section 2?
On, maybe not, 2.5, analysis section, families find the mill rate in West Bath as a more attractive reason to move to the area. As a more attractive reason than what?
Where is it?
How about as
As opposed to,
an attractive reason?
as an attractive reason.
Yeah. And the analysis of the very first sentence. That reads better.
Right.
I'm
Yeah.
puzzled by up in the top paragraph of that page, 2.5.
Okay.
The last sentence of that first paragraph. In cases where the town acquires tax default parcels, Bath Housing Authority would have the resources to rehabilitate these homes under conditions set by town of West Bath. Why would that happen? Why would they want to rehabilitate our homes?
That's part of the regional,
That's something that the housing authority can do. So if you do have a parcel that does have like a rundown house, you could sell it on the open market, or you could give it to the housing authority with conditions set by the town.
Yeah, you have to give it to them, I think.
But then you could set like standards for like the
The
age specific,
rehabilitation.
yeah, rehabilitation, construction timelines, all that.
but they're an agency, a regional agency that can do those things. The Bath Housing Authority.
They are a regional agency.
It's
Yeah.
not just Bath.
Yeah,
I'm learning something. Thank you.
Yeah, I didn't,
should we put just behind their name that they're a regional agency so people won't ask that question?
Yeah, I could
it
just,
sounds like it's the city that almost.
I feel like in the greater
So
Bath,
it's
yeah, yeah, I mean, the first sentence does say Bath Housing Authority construction is currently manages over 175 apartments and
Yeah, I think it's
Okay,
pretty thousand.
great,
Yeah,
great.
that's good, yeah.
I think that covers it.
Okay.
All right.
Alright, anything else for section 2?
I have a question. Since in this bottom analysis of issues, it says West Bath has no housing that is lacking adequate kitchens or plumbing facilities. Does the plumbing facilities mean just what's in the house, not those houses that are don't have room for septic and so they're running into the river? You said there was one left?
It's full.
Oh, the discharges?
The overboard, OBDs.
Yeah,
Those aren't houses. That's overboard discharge of boats.
of boats, all right, fine. But I thought that there was
No,
one,
it's a septic.
I thought that there was at least one house left,
Yeah,
and there wasn't
but-
enough room for a septic
And I think
tank.
this is just referring to indoor plumbing.
That's what I wanna know.
This refers to indoor plumbing.
Farm, so we don't have any homes that have outhouses,
Okay,
which in some towns you do.
I know, I grew up with
And
that.
the OBD is
Is,
dumping the septic over and into the
It's
river.
direct, there's no treatment, just goes
No
out.
treatment.
It's supposed to be
From a
treated.
house.
It's supposed to be treated with
There are 4 of them.
With
Over
chlorine.
the district.
with chlorine.
Yeah.
so it's not boats.
No,
No.
No, it's, in this case, I believe the 4 was referring to have no land for a septic system.
overboard discharge sounds like a boat, but it's not, it just means into the river.
It's not an outboard.
Well, why?
discharge.
Well, let me ask you a question. I know of somebody who owns a a cottage, I'll call it.
It's a mess.
I think it's somewhere in the Sabino region, but I could be wrong.
I see that.
That they don't have the room for a leach field, for a septic tank to pump to. They pump their tank periodically
Mhm.
when it fills up.
Right, that's legal.
Why can't we get those overboard discharge guys
Because
to do the same
they're
thing?
legalized, they're legal from the state of Maine.
That's crap.
It is,
It is literally.
Literally correct.
Okay, what else you got next?
I was just seeing if there's any other changes to, housing. Okay. Leah did point out just one minor strong correction. That was just the.
What section are we on?
We're now on 3, history.
The one thing that the planning board looked at, since we're gonna use this list to watch out for development around these historical spaces,
Yep.
is that, it would be great if we could add a map and lot to each of these properties, so that we knew where they were. So like the David Rain House located on Berry's Mill Road, built circa 1760, we have no idea which house that was.
Yeah, I
Is
think
that
there
a
was
map
some
and lot?
concern about it in the document for
Privacy.
privacy. I mean, we did talk about it. at one
Okay,
meeting.
so-
So it's funny, how do we do that to maybe reference it somehow to the town? I don't know.
So
I don't know if it should be
maybe-
right in the document.
If the list was not in the document, but made available to the code enforcement officer
Well,
and the planning board later, I mean, I know it doesn't have to do it tonight, but
they could look it up, though. I mean,
who?
But there could be some statement to that effect, and then maybe
just-
provide that information to the CEO, but not.
I mean, with the historical society,
Right.
have a list like that already made.
You have a map?
I think it's like this.
Right, so I guess the thing is, if these are the ones that we're supposed to be watching out for, we have no idea where these are,
Okay.
so we can't. So whether it's code enforcement has the list and checks, or, I get what you're saying about not putting it in here for privacy. But we're supposed to be looking out for them based on this document, and you
Right.
can't not knowing where they are. And all the applications say what map and lot they're on, so we would be able to check it,
Yeah.
to see if it's next door to one of these.
Yeah, I just don't leave it off here for
I
now.
just wouldn't put it in the
Yeah,
document.
I know, I wasn't
I
even
agree.
thinking about
Privacy.
the privacy, but I think, for us to do our job, we gotta have it somewhere.
So, include the map and lot.
And don't-
Disregard,
Okay, leave it as.
don't put it
I
in
mean,
this
I'm
document.
gonna put it back to the, I think the people may know the address. Or you said it would be,
No.
I figured out, I mean, not for the committee, so don't worry about it for,
No.
okay.
Alright, and then,
I'm sorry.
well, I was gonna say, was there any other changes? I think section 3 was that one where it's already kind of gone through the historical society,
Yeah,
and kind of
there's-
just accepted.
There's some underscores that just need to pop, I think.
Yeah, those.
Oh, Mitchell Small House on top of 3-4. There's a T in that, right?
Oh, yeah.
Is it Mitchell?
It's Mitchell.
Mitchell.
It is Mitchell.
It's like the third one from the bottom.
Yep,
I just forget the shipwreck.
and you also just give me the unbound sheet.
What's that, sir?
You'll give me the unbound contact, because she said she had.
Oh, just that there's some underscores that need to come out.
Oh, there's,
That's all.
fine,
Yeah.
okay. Alright, so that's section 3. Moving on to section 4, recreation. Must be the longest section we have.
Back there in MCA.
Yeah,
The first area.
That family area ones,
Back area.
that area.
I need to do like a search for license, you know,
The family YMCA bath area. It'll just be a different time for them. Go ahead, Darlene.
So we had a comment,
Go ahead, Don.
we had a comment
Hang on.
in the table that
Sandra.
Yeah.
Sandra.
to add, it was confusing.
Ramp be there.
Sandra. He's talking.
It was confusing
Yes.
whether,
Yes, it should.
Alright,
We got one conversation, hang on, Valerie's
Sorry.
speaking.
so let's all come back. Darlene, you have the floor.
under developed recreational facilities, the table, We were
Yes,
trying to figure out, based on the table and then the verbiage, which ones had parking and which ones did not.
yep,
And so we kind of thought it might work to add another column, maybe in between location and acreage for parking, that it's yes parking, no parking. And then Sabino was kind of a question because they're not supposed to be parking on the street, but they do. Does that make sense?
Bull Rock Road.
Oh, this is what the sign
Only
board was
one
saying?
with parking.
or
Sorry?
was this what the planning board was giving?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So like just a column that would say off-street parking,
No, it just
Y,
says,
N, or?
yeah, parking, yes or no. So there's no parking on the Mountain Road boat landing, which is on Lower Mill Cove, I guess.
Right.
Correct, so there's parking at Bull Rock Boat Ramp, there's a parking lot. Mountain Road boat,
Right.
Ramp,
it should be ramp.
right.
I'm sorry, which
There's-
one?
No parking.
Mountain Road Boat Ramp.
You should add the word ramp. And then there's no parking there. And then Sabino Boat Ramp in Sabino Cove, they park, but there really isn't,
There is no parking,
there's no parking
Yeah,
there,
it's
so
on
that lets know.
They park on the street.
I know.
but there's no
Yeah.
legal parking.
So should I have the column say off-street parking instead?
No.
No,
There
no,
is- there is
no.
Okay.
There's no dedicated.
So
parking.
Bull Rock,
And then
Bull Rock does.
Yes.
Bull Rock does, the others do not. And then like the last sentence above the table, and this is what threw us, is because it says the Sabino Boat Ramp only offers on-street parking.
So you wanna strike that, right?
Yeah, I think we want to
Because it's
strike that
illegal. I
to
mean,
make
is
it
it-
clear.
There's no, it says no parking right there, there's a sign.
Correct.
That's
So I don't think it offers that at all. I think I've seen people
That's
put their
why I
boat
was
in
saying to
and then
strike
go
it.
back out and usually park by the
Well, let's just,
clubhouse and then walk
let's
back.
just strike it for now.
Yeah, it's not provided, so it just was confusing, we weren't sure which.
The town's still dealing with that.
But do you agree with putting in the chart with
Yeah.
Y and
So-
N, or yes, no, no?
So the Sabino boat ramp only offers on-street parking, I'm getting rid of that.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
gonna cause problems.
All right.
We're trying to figure out how to verbally kind of throw that in there, but the
think
charts
it-
seem to be easier.
I think we're better off to leave it alone.
All right, so those are the only changes. I included the parking column that says Bull Rock is the only one with parking, and I'm getting rid of that sentence saying Sabino has on-street parking.
Okay.
Those are the changes? Other than the handout?
On page 4-2,
Yes.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5 lines from the bottom, 5 lines up from the bottom.
Yep.
West, developing the area around the West Bass School for FOR,
Oh, yeah.
or recreational activities.
All right.
F in front of the or.
Nice catch.
Any other changes for the recreation section? Hearing none?
No, no. So, on page 4-2, the last paragraph.
Yep.
That doesn't read very well somehow, the lack of public open space issues also. While 56% of the residents responded to the public survey by stating that the recreational facilities, the respondents did not believe it was adequate cited, the lack of areas. I'm not too sure what that
Adequate
says.
Maybe Ann cited?
Yeah.
Maybe it's missing Ann?
And cited the lack of area.
Yeah, does that work, Paul?
I think,
Oh, cited like they said, not cited like where it's located.
Yeah, but like I said, right, but
Yeah,
if you said and in there, will that read better, Paul?
right.
Or adequate, citing that.
Adequate, comma, and cited, yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Or comma citing?
I guess going back to Leah's, on the same paragraph, just above below that, we mentioned Audubon Society Sanctuary.
You were calling it different things.
Do you want to call it the Hamilton Audubon Sanctuary, everywhere in the whole plan?
I would do that.
We've called it a couple of different ways.
Hamilton Audubon's
Sanctuary.
Yeah.
sanctuary, and that's gonna be
Yeah.
I'm changing that. Plan.
Just to make it uniform.
Anything else for recreation? Hearing none, we move on to comments.
Oh, yeah, you got the four more.
Yep.
Okay, that was, so that, I guess it was the wording for me in the second to last sentence under analysis and issues. This method includes cooperating with the West. I guess I wasn't sure with method, I don't know, that just sounded funny to me, and I just was saying that the process would include cooperation with the West Bath School. It's just
Mind
wording.
changing that
Yeah, process.
would include cooperating with the West Bath School. Alright.
And then I know, back to where David was mentioning, and Hamilton Audubon Sanctuary, and I was just gonna put in Greenpoint Preserve. Our private parcels, because they're both,
Our
our
Bible.
vital parcels with us.
Okay. Anything else?
And then the last sentence, just there's no formal mechanism for acquiring potential sites except, and I guess I was gonna just say, just clarifying that we're talking about recreational sites, right?
For recreation. There's no formula for acquiring a potential
Potential
recreation.
recreational sites except for, and then I just wanted to clarify that it's recreational. That was it.
Any other changes for the recreation section?
Yeah, I have a problem on the last page, 5.4.
Oh, no, wait, recreation or common?
We're still on recreation.
Yeah, there was the last.
Excuse me, okay.
Alright, well,
I've got one more, sorry. And it's just the wording, in the second paragraph under parks and open space, where it
Yes.
says, some landowners allow the public to walk, ride horses, cross-country ski, and then all of a sudden in capitals is all-terrain vehicles. I was just gonna say ride ATVs, I don't know, or is that capitalized? All-terrain vehicles?
No,
I
they're
know, I
not.
was gonna say ride ATVs or ride all-terrain vehicles. And snowmobiles.
ride all-terrain vehicles. Okay.
No.
Are you sure? Because the moment I close this Word document, moving on to economy.
Until next time.
Leave now.
Moving on to economy. Alright, you had something.
Yeah, it's on 5.4,
Okay.
under trends. You're trying to basically describe what's in table 5.2. So if you go to the previous page, 5.3, where table 5.2 is,
Yes.
you can see that from over 10 years, or 11 years, the labor force is very minor fluctuations. Employment is going from 805 to 829, but it's had a peak of 869 at one point, and unemployment's been pretty stable, 3 to 4% in that range. When you go to page 5.4, you're trying to describe this under the word title heading 10s, where you say, over the last decade, West Bath has seen a minor fluctuation regarding the number of residents in the labor force, but have also seen an increase of in, you gotta straighten out that, either in residents or of residents that have gained employment. I wonder if that's the,
It's necessary to have?
I mean, if you actually, look at it, 805 came up, moved up to as high as 869, and then it's down to 829. I don't know what that sentence adds to the whole thing. I don't know that we had a big increase.
No, if you pick 2011 until 805,
went as high as 869,
69,
and
yeah.
now it dropped back to 829.
Mhm.
That is an increase, it's a slight increase, but I just,
Well,
It's too bad you didn't have 2022, because I bet that it went back up again. I mean, the COVID year, 2020, really,
changed things.
so yeah, and that was noted in the next sentence, in what you saw, where there is still an overall increase, but 2021 had COVID, which is where nationwide there was this huge unemployment rate. So you hit 869, then COVID happened, so you could have still probably had those numbers if COVID didn't happen.
yeah.
Yeah,
Well, I was drawn to this sentence by the of the end, that you had in the second line, right in the middle of the second line.
Yeah,
That's gotta be straightened out.
I'm getting.
And then I was questioning, what does this really tell us that's that informative? So I guess it's okay. You know,
Second line.
he's gonna straighten out the,
Yeah, it should say, but have also seen an increase of residents.
on the, on 5.1, the very last sentence, see the name bustling agriculture machine? So it just isn't,
Agriculture, just get rid of bustling.
I
yeah.
don't feel like it's fun. There's some weird adjectives in here, isn't there?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Surprised we
It's a
didn't,
little off.
surprised we didn't catch that one yet.
All right,
On the first
Hey, you
on the
Jack
first
Webb.
paragraph,
hold on.
you you're down to line 1, 2, 3. Brunswick, take out after Woolwich on line 4, no, 1, 2, 3, yeah, 4, take out one of the periods. At the end of that line, employer should be plural.
Yeah.
And then on that, clear down on the last full sentence, after Bath, that should be a period.
Wait, in addition to
Where?
this shit,
No,
the
the
way-
Activities in Bath, period.
No.
VIW also provides employment and,
I don't think we can do that one
No,
there.
that's not.
No.
Yeah, that, because that's saying it.
In addition to.
okay, all right, Bath, all right, fine, I agree.
All right,
We don't need 2 periods.
yeah, let's get rid of that one. Anything else for the economy section?
Uh,
I have a question. That's okay.
Oh,
Well, I'm just curious how you define largest employers within West Bath. How did you come up with that list?
That was a state, right?
yeah.
So yeah, that was one of the things, we wanted to add American Steel, but we weren't sure how that list was derived. Is it based on how many people they have working there? Is it?
So, I'm going to the State of Maine Center for Workforce Research and Information Employer Locator. They have it broken down in range, so they don't give the exact number, but it just says the range, like, they have more than 10 to 50 employees, they have more than 99, and so on and so on.
Okay, so what was,
The state of Maine gave them these numbers.
right, but what was the
I'm surprised East
number
Coast
of?
Woodworking has
Which one?
That's,
Which one?
Well, and this is all information that
the state gives it, so.
was like a year or so ago, so I can check these businesses again,
Oh.
but
It's, I don't think it's ultimately gonna matter,
No.
really, for this. It was just, it came up about American Steel, but I think there's really only 4 people working over
That's not
there.
a lot there.
So they don't,
yeah, I feel
No.
American Steel was one of those topics we talked about earlier
Seems
on.
like-
It's a weird-
it's like-
There's one permanent employee in the place, maybe 2.
And you know what, Joe?
I've tried to interview them and they wouldn't talk to me.
So in this case, the addition came from the state of Maine.
I used to know like Brackley Electric, I don't know how many Midcoast Excavation actually has. It probably doesn't matter, I was
It
just
doesn't matter.
What about
curious.
sort of like
Von Miller
throw wrench in.
inspection?
And part of it is I just had to cut it off at some
At some
place.
point.
Yeah, I'm just surprised that East Coast Woodworking made the cut. That's all.
Max, at the bottom of 5.2, like in the center of that last paragraph,
Mhm.
occupations make up the second
Yeah.
largest employment, there's just an extra S there.
Yep. And,
The second largest employment group.
and then, I've made a note for myself, a page for table 5-2. I don't know why I had it go from 2021 at the top to 2011 at the bottom. I don't know what happened in that.
Oh, yeah, it's
I'll-
backwards.
Yeah, I'm gonna swap that around.
It's not here, that's all.
Yeah. I don't know why I was doing.
Just back to the first paragraph on the background for a comment, did you get the, which includes the towns of Aroostook?
E-towns. Yep.
And then I
Which
just.
even makes it more confusing that I mentioned Rouse's there, but it's
You
not
did.
the charts.
Yeah,
And I just had a wording issue with BIW is still showing investments and job support. I don't know, just, is there another way to say still?
investing.
It's just still investing.
Investing, yeah, I just think showing sounded fine to me.
Still
It's
investing
still-
and providing job support in the region.
Sure.
Oh, that's cool, yes, something, yeah. And it's in the chart, is there in the introductory paragraph to say that BIW is a subsidiary of General Dynamics? You say it comes out in the chart where you say within a 12-month radius, stuff like that.
Yeah, I don't have that said anywhere in the
And
background
the
section.
description.
Leave General Dynamics out of
I
it.
thought there might be a comment, but it's in the chart, or in the, whatever the bullet.
Large, the employer thing, yeah. Anything else for the economy section?
On 5-4, under transportation, the sentence, it just kind of reads oddly, I think. So it's an estimated 304 West Bath residents travel between 10 to 14 minutes travel to work. I think that travel needs to go away.
Yeah.
And then, which is the largest group of residents? The second most residents, I think it needs to be the second largest group
Yeah.
or the second largest group, comma, 186, comma, drive 15 to 19 minutes.
Mhm.